The formula Netflix never shows you. Your favorite show just got cancelled. And Netflix's explanation was, "We've decided not to move forward with a second season." That's it. That's the whole statement. No viewing numbers. No explanation. No apology for the cliffhanger they left you with. But here's what Netflix doesn't tell you. There is a very specific, very calculated formula behind every cancellation decision. And once you understand it, you will never watch a Netflix show the same way again. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how Netflix decides what stays and what disappears, the metrics they track, the thresholds a show has to hit, and the specific moment in a show's life cycle when the decision actually gets made, which is much earlier than you think. First, let's be clear about something. Netflix cancellations feel random because Netflix designed them to feel random. When HBO cancels a show, they usually give a reason. When a network cancels something, ratings data is public. You can see exactly why it happened. Netflix tells you nothing. No viewing numbers. No benchmarks. No, this show needed X subscribers and only got Y, just a terse press release and the cast finding out on Twitter. But over the last decade, a picture has emerged through industry leaks, former Netflix employees, and occasional moments when the company's public statements accidentally revealed more than intended of exactly how this system works. And it is not random. It is ruthlessly systematic. Netflix's primary metric is not how many people start a show. It's how many people finish it. Internally, Netflix tracks what's called the completion rate. What percentage of viewers who watch episode 1 make it to the final episode of the season? And this number has to hit a certain threshold or the show is already in trouble. A show with 20 million people starting it and only 40% finishing is in worse shape than a show with 5 million people starting it and 80% finishing. The completion rate signals whether people actually wanted to watch, or whether they started and got bored. The reason your show had a cliffhanger ending that never got resolved, because the completion rate told Netflix the audience wasn't hooked enough to justify the cost of a season 2. Netflix invented a metric called the efficiency score, which is essentially, how much does it cost to make this show per engaged viewer? A massive, expensive prestige drama that pulls in 30 million viewers is less efficient than a cheap reality show that pulls in 20 million viewers, because the math on the cost per viewer is completely different. This is why you've noticed that Netflix cancels a lot of mid-tier dramas, shows that are genuinely good, critically appreciated, but not blockbusters. Those shows are expensive to produce and their audience, while loyal, isn't big enough to justify the cost relative to cheaper content that gets similar numbers. Quality is not the variable. Cost per viewer is the variable. This is the part that should make you slightly angry, because it means the show you love getting cancelled had nothing to do with whether it was good. Subscribe and keep watching. Factors 3 through 5 explain why shows you've never heard of survive for 5 seasons. Here's one of Netflix's worst-kept secrets. For most shows, the decision about renewal or cancellation is effectively made within the first 28 days of release. Netflix historically measured viewership in 28-day windows. They track how many accounts watched at least 2 minutes of a title in the first month. And early in Netflix's history, that 28-day number was essentially the verdict. This is why Netflix has learned to dump entire seasons at once. The binge watch model isn't just about viewer satisfaction. It's about compressing all your engagement into the measurement window. Watch it all this month, or the number doesn't count. Shows that build slowly, that find their audience over months through word of mouth, are structurally disadvantaged under this system. By the time people are recommending it to their friends, the decision is already made. The most important and the least talked about. Netflix tracks not just whether existing subscribers watch a show, but whether the show causes new people to subscribe. A show that existing subscribers love, but that isn't visible outside the platform is worth less than a show that generates cultural conversation. Tweets, Reddit threads, think pieces, word of mouth. That makes people who don't have Netflix think I need to get Netflix to watch that. This is why Squid Game got a second season no matter what. Not because completion rates were perfect, but because Squid Game was the reason an enormous number of people subscribed to Netflix in 2021. It had incalculable subscriber acquisition value. Your canceled show that you love. It probably had great completion rates from existing subscribers, but it wasn't making anyone new sign up. And in Netflix's calculus, that makes it a cost, not an asset. Here's the one that explains a lot of the cancellations that feel most baffling. When a show becomes successful, the cast and crew become more expensive. Actors renegotiate contracts. Showrunners get competing offers. Production costs for a season 3 are often 50% higher than season 1, even if the audience is exactly the same size. So a show that was efficient at season 1 becomes inefficient at season 3, not because fewer people are watching, but because the cost per viewer ratio has completely changed. Netflix's version of this problem is particularly acute because they don't have the traditional network model of licensing fees and syndication revenue to subsidize ongoing productions. Every season has to justify its full cost in the 28-day window. The result: Netflix structurally prefers to cancel a show at peak popularity and replace it with a new show, than to keep a show running as its economics deteriorate. Your favorite show was probably canceled right when you loved it most. That's not a coincidence. So now you know the system. What do you do with it? First, if you want a show to survive, watch it fast. Don't save it for later. Don't add it to your list. Watch it in the first 28 days of release and watch more than 2 minutes. The algorithm needs to count you. Second, watch through to the end. Completion rate matters more than start rate. If you loved episode 1, the most useful thing you can do for the show's survival is finish the season. Third, make noise about it. Talk about it. Tweet about it. Tell people who don't have Netflix about it. Subscriber acquisition value is the metric that overrides everything else. Be the reason someone signs up. The system isn't designed around what's good. It's designed around what's efficient. But now that you understand the game, you can play it. Netflix has built one of the most sophisticated content businesses in history. And part of what makes it sophisticated is that it looks opaque from the outside while being completely calculated on the inside. The show that got canceled wasn't a mistake. It was a decision. And now you know exactly what went into that decision. Tell me in the comments, which cancellation hurt the most? And do you think it makes more sense now that you know how the system works? I'm genuinely curious, because sometimes understanding why something happened makes it better, and sometimes it just makes you angrier. Subscribe for more of this. Every week we break down how the film and TV industry actually works. The stuff that happens behind the scenes that explains everything you see on screen. And if you want to go deeper on Netflix's business model, that video is right here. See you next time.